working for you. This is Good Morning Carolinas on ABC 15.
Investors are hopeful about a U.S.-China trade deal. Negotiators announced a rough agreement yesterday. Experts say the U.S. and global economies urgently need the sides to de-escalate.
We have right now no ships leaving China for the West Coast. That's the first time we've seen that since the COVID pandemic. We are hearing retailers talk about empty store shelves within weeks.
Experts say negotiating the finer details of trade deals can take months or years. They say implementation also requires time.
The mayor of New Jersey's largest city and a Democratic candidate for governor was handcuffed and detained by federal officials on Friday at a protest of an ICE facility. His arrest follows a chaotic scene in the facility's parking lot involving protesters, federal law enforcement officers, and 3 members of Congress. Glitch affecting operations caused a 45-minute ground stop at Newark International Airport yesterday morning.
We are building a new line that goes directly from Newark to the Philly Tracon, which controls the New York airspace. What happens now is it goes from Newark to N90, which is where it used to be controlled, and then down to Philly. That doesn't make sense. We're going to have a direct line there.
Last week, Duffy announced a plan to update the aging technology used in the air traffic control systems across the country. To meet Russian President Vladimir Putin this week, Zelensky's willingness comes after President Donald Trump urged him to immediately accept the Russian leader's offer to hold peace talks in Turkey. Britain, Germany, and Poland gave Russia an ultimatum, agreed to an unconditional 30-day ceasefire by Monday or face massive new sanctions. Hamas says they will release the last living American hostage in Gaza as part of an effort to establish a ceasefire. 2 Hamas officials told the Associated Press yesterday they expect Adnan Alexander's release within the next 2 days. Alexander is an Israeli-American soldier who grew up in the U.S. A ceasefire between India and Pakistan appears to be holding, despite both sides accusing the other of violating the agreement. Tensions boiled over last month after a gunman killed 26 tourists in Kashmir. India blames Pakistan for the attack, and Pakistan denies any involvement. The U.S. held a 4th round of negotiations over Tehran's rapidly advancing nuclear program. The talks ran for some 3 hours in Muscat, the capital of Oman, which has been mediating the negotiations. The U.S. is seeking to limit Iran's nuclear program in exchange for lifting sanctions imposed on the Islamic Republic. Pope Leo XIV delivered his first Sunday message in St. Peter's Square, where he called on world leaders to cease all fighting.
In today's dramatic scenario of a third world war being fought piecemeal, as Pope Francis said, I too turn to the world's leaders with an ever-timely appeal. Never again war.
Residents in Tennessee and the Carolinas were jolted this weekend after a 4.1 magnitude earthquake struck the region.
I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then the kitchen started to rattle, so I jumped up out of bed real fast. I knew it was an earthquake.
It was just like, all at once, everything started shaking in my trailer.
I thought, oh, the dryer is acting up. And when I felt the vibration, I thought, oh, it's the dryer. They're old. And so then I happened to be looking on Facebook and somebody wrote, did you just feel that?
From the U.S. Geological Society, the quake struck near Greenback, Tennessee, and it was felt as far as Atlanta, some 150 miles away. New developments in a shooting at a nightclub in Florence yesterday morning. 1 person died and 6 others are injured. A fight started in the parking lot of Culture Lounge on East Palmetto Street, which turned into a shooting. We spoke with the lounge owner, who didn't want to go on camera, but she says the man who died in the shooting was actually the lounge security guard. She tells us the shooter fired at the victims from the doorway after not being allowed inside of the lounge. The status and conditions of those victims who survived have not been released. Phil can say hello to the new police chief in town. Sammy Croslin was the assistant police chief in the city before serving as interim chief.
Patience and being still, like God said, and just determination. It's been a tough road to hold, but I had to sit here and be patient and wait on what he wanted me to do. I tried to do other things that I thought was going to be acceptable through him, but he showed me this is what we need to be.
One final look at the Monday planner forecast here, and again, showers and storms are to be expected. Now, it's not going to rain throughout the entirety of the day, but I'd say late morning into the early afternoon, it's probably going to be more active than not, hence the 80% that you're seeing stretched across both the Grand Strand and PD time frame from around 12 to 4. Once we move into sunset, the rain chances will gradually start to fall.
We hope you have a great day. Stay safe out there. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here tomorrow at 5 a.m.